Still in local news, one person has been killed and 5 more injured in an accident which took place in the Dummaladeni area in Varakapula today. The Varakapula police stated that the injured are 5 Japanese nationals.
A jeep belonging to the Japanese embassy met with this accident while flying towards Colombo when it collided with an army truck travelling from Colombo to Jaffna. Following the collision, both the army truck and the jeep had toppled into the Dummaladeni area. The police stated that the driver of the jeep was instantly killed in the accident. An official attached to the Japanese embassy, his wife, a relative and 2 children were travelling in the jeep at the time of the accident. Those who sustained injuries were immediately rushed to the Varakapula and Kegalle hospitals.
Up next is Crime Watch.
A 21-year-old youth was killed last afternoon after being shot. The victim has been identified as Samida Nadishan, a resident of Katunayaka. It is suspected that a group who arrived in a motorbike had shot the victim, who was travelling towards the Katunayaka town in a cycle. Samida, who excelled in karate and many other self-defense sports, had obtained many national and international medals for his achievements.
The
reason for this tragedy is because he threatened all those who use drugs and tried to put an end to it.
They tried to kill him for over a year now. They destroyed our house. We saved our brother when the group tried to take him away once.
A group of monks descended on the Ambilipitiya main road in Ratnapura today to invoke blessings to reduce the number of accidents on the route.
From January to July this year, 189 accidents took place along the Ambilipitiya-Kahavatta main road. Lives were lost from 35 of those accidents. The monks sprinkled blessed water on this route, chanting that accidents be reduced. The Perahera to prevent road accidents was organised under the instructions of SSP LG Kularatna, who is in charge of the Ratnapura district, together with the Ambilipitiya, Udawalawa and Kahavatta police.
At a function held in the Chilau area today, Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajpaksa revealed that the oil drilling in the Manna Basin has commenced.
The function was organised to renovate the roads in the Kudaveva area in Nathandiya.
When I visited Talavila, the Navy commanding officer there informed me that 25 kilometers away from here is the Seas of Manna, where the oil drilling process also commenced. For the first time, this has commenced today without much hype. If we discover oil, I think from one side we will be independent. I think you will be able to think yourselves the level of threat that will be posed to us if we discover oil. Therefore, we need to remain vigilant in this regard.
Co-deputy leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa, attended a function held in Hambantota today.
The event was held to present bank books children in the Mayurapura area in Hambantota. When we travel on the roads when going to villages, we don't see any Maganagma but a Magalaguma. We cannot allow anyone to steal these national resources. Maganaguma is a mere word. There is only one thing that is put into action through the government's Maganaguma program. I would like to state that it is a Magalaguma that is being created through corruption and theft.
Well, it was just a week ago that News First revealed that the United States was on the brink of a financial crisis that would cascade into a global meltdown. Well, confirming our projections combined with analytical views from experts in the financial sector, it was last evening that the US's credit ratings was downgraded. News First Mahina Bongso joins us with a detailed analysis on this new development.
One of the top credit rating agencies, Standard & Poor's, has downgraded the United States' top-notch AAA rating for the first time ever. S&P cut the long-term US rating by one notch to AA+ with a negative outlook, citing concerns about budget deficits.
Standard & Poor's said the deficit reduction plan passed by the US Congress on Tuesday did not go far enough. Washington was locked in months of acrimonious partisan bickering over a bill to raise the US debt ceiling. As rumors swirled about the downgrade last evening, officials in Washington told US media that S&P's sums were deeply flawed. Unnamed sources were quoted as saying that a Treasury official had spotted a $2 trillion mistake in the agency's analysis.
There is no much of an impact that the AA rating has been awarded to US, downgrading from AAA rating. For the simple reason, US is the largest economy in the world and US is the largest borrower. So which makes it a monopolistic state with regard to borrowing as well. Rating always has a relationship to the cost of borrowing. Practically, this makes very little or almost no impact on the global system. With regard to the country like Sri Lanka, I would say that the same story holds valid because the economic implications of downgrading of the US credit rating is not going to have a major impact.
John Chambers, chairman of S&P's Sovereign Ratings Committee, said that the US could have averted a downgrade if it had resolved its congressional stalemate earlier.
I think the move down was very rational. Having said that, the market is very oversold. I think the bad economic news has been priced into the market at this point.
We are going to get through this. Things will get better.
However, the decision by S&P did little to foster bipartisan spirit, with both Republicans and Democrats using it to justify their stances.
It's a reflection of the trouble that the country's in. And it's a reflection of the failed leadership of President Obama.
President Obama is destroying the foundations of the United States economy one beam at a time.
The S&P announcement comes after a week of turmoil on global stock markets not seen since the days of the 2008 economic crisis. Meanwhile, China's main share index ended down 2.2% yesterday to its biggest weekly fall in 2 months. The Shanghai Composite Index finished down 2.2% at 2,626.4 points yesterday, tracking the slump in global equities and extending its weekly losing streak into a third straight week. World stocks, which hit an 11-month low yesterday, are on track for their biggest weekly loss since November 2008, part of the chaotic period after the Lehman bankruptcy.
Emerging reports say the downgrade in the US could erode global investor confidence in the world's largest economy, which is already struggling with huge debts, unemployment of 9.1%, and beset by fears of a possible double-dip recession. S&P had threatened the downgrade if the US could not agree to cut its federal debt by at least $4 trillion over the next decade.
S&P said the Republicans and Democrats had only been able to agree relatively modest savings, which fell well short of what had been envisaged. The agency also noted that the legislation delegates the lion's share of savings to a bipartisan committee which must report back to Congress in November on where the axe should fall. The bill, which also raises the federal debt ceiling up to $2.4 trillion from $14.3 trillion over a decade, was passed on Tuesday, just hours before the expiry of a deadline to raise the US borrowing limit. The agency said it might lower the US long-term rating another notch to AA within the next 2 years if its deficit reduction measures were deemed inadequate. Meanwhile, Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard downplayed the importance of the United States credit rating downgrade today. Gillard pointed to the resilience of the Australian economy, which is riding high as a result of China's demand for its natural resources.
Now, Standard & Poor's had been signalling for some time that unless they saw, a certain figure of budget cutbacks out of the discussion that there's been in Washington about the American budget and fiscal consolidation, that they were intending to do that downgrade. At the same time, the other two major ratings agencies, Moody's and Fitch, continue to have the American economy rated at AAA. So I think people just need to look at all of the facts.
You're watching News First. Time now for Action TV.
In order to use buffer zones located near sanctuaries and forest reserves to achieve the expected targets in the tourist industry, the government recently revealed that it is preparing to amend the acts pertaining to the subject. If such acts are amended, this would mean that the buffer zones will reduce by a certain amount. However, even before it could reduce owing to the amendment of laws, it is evident that activities prohibited through such laws are taking place not only within the buffer zones located near certain sanctuaries and forest reserves, but even beyond it. An example of this is the illegal activities taking place in the Knuckles Protection Area near the Knuckles Forest, which was declared as a World Heritage Site. The Knuckles Forest, which is also known as the Dumbara Forest, was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO after taking into account its special features. Among such features is the fact that the areas located near the Knuckles Forest receives the most amount of rainfall from the northeastern and southwestern monsoon season. The Knuckles Forest is also home to a large amount of water sources. Furthermore, 5 varieties of climate zones in the world can be witnessed within the Knuckles Forest, which spans across 62 square miles. Apart from this, a conservation zone and a Knuckles protection area were named in order to preserve the Knuckles Forest, which consists of flora and fauna endemic to Sri Lanka. However, since the responsible authorities have shown insensitivity towards these zones, 16 illegal constructions have taken place within this year in the Mau Sawatta area alone, which belongs to the Rathota Divisional Secretariat.
The environment here is very different to what was there previously. The trees are felled. The responsible authorities remain silent in the face of this destruction. What will be left for the future generation?
At a time when such constructions are taking place without the approval, which should be obtained from several institutions, those living nearby have started clearing the Knuckles Protection Area for cultivations. Isn't it an international farce that environmental laws are not being implemented within the Knuckles Forest, which is incidentally a World Heritage Site? Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, this is over to you.